Well, it looks like, yes, it looks like I am live. Hello there, everyone. I'm Natasha Tomlinson. Just wanted to take a moment here, give a few moments for everyone to catch up, jump in, and get comfortable. We're just going to chat tonight about some common mistakes that we see and educate you on what we're seeing in the Arizona real estate market. Let's give folks a moment or two to. Ooh, hello. Why am I muted? Oh. Folks, a moment or two to sign in. And so get comfortable, grab your favorite beverage. If you're driving, then, put your volume up. Don't worry so much about chiming into my questions. You can always chat with me at a later date if you like. Again, folks, I am Natasha Tomlinson with my home group real estate. And tonight we are doing a home buyer webinar for the folks here in Arizona. And it is entitled Avoid These Costly Mistakes During the Home Buying Process. So great. I'm glad that you hear me. Thank you very much for that. Loud and clear. I certainly hope so. So let's share my screen. And let's get the party started, shall we? Yeah, that works. Great. Anyone, again, I thank you for tuning in. If you have questions, then feel free to put them in the chat and I will get them as soon as possible. Which will probably be the end, just so you know. All right. As I am flying solo this evening. So any questions I'll get to towards the end of the webinar this evening. I'm sure we are sharing. Great. All right. Well, let's begin, right? Again, folks, welcome to Avoid These Costly Mistakes, an Arizona home buyer webinar. Again, I am Natasha Tomlinson. I'm a realtor here in Arizona, and I'm licensed in 2005. So during that time, I have had the pleasure of helping many home buyers and home sellers navigate the Arizona real estate market. And today I'm here to share some crucial insights with you. Now, this webinar isn't just for first-time home buyers because most people don't buy all the time, right? I mean, right now, I think the statistics say it's about every 7 to 8 years someone makes a move. So a lot changes during that time. There's market shifts, there are changes in lending guidelines, there are changes in purchase contracts and the various addendum and processes and procedures that we need to follow. So again, tonight is just a brief overview. Everyone's situation is very different. Everyone's situation is unique. And if you'd like to discuss that privately, then I am certainly available to you. You can always reach out directly at 480-203-4364. But now, for the next 45 minutes, we'll cover common mistakes that home buyers make and how to avoid them. and then we'll wrap up with a Q&A session. I understand that your time is valuable, and I want to make the most of it. So hopefully you learned something tonight. And your feedback is always appreciated. Constructive criticism, that is. All right. So let's begin. Well, many people believe that mortgage rates went down after the latest Federal Reserve cut the Fed funds rate a few weeks ago. And many people, they were wrong so far. Last Friday's jobs report suggested that the U.S. economy was stronger than expected and added more upward momentum to mortgage interest rates. And now we have the highest interest rates in recent months before 30-year fixed mortgage at about 6.6%, depending on other factors, of course, but just to give you a range. Meanwhile, active supply of homes has increased about 3.5%, so home buyers have more to choose from. The general picture for the greater Phoenix metro area, our real estate market, is that the number of sales are low and pricing is stable. The outlook for volume to improve is really for volume to improve a bit and for prices to remain stable with a slight downward tendency due to a slight excess of supply over demand. That's right. Now, come on now. All right. Also, really wanted to take a quick look again at the greater Phoenix metro area. Generally speaking, the Phoenix metro area is experiencing a balanced market in many areas. Remember that real estate is hyper local. So areas like Scottsdale, Cave Creek, for instance, are seeing increased activity, and activity for other areas is pretty flat or stable. Now we can point to a number of things during that, and some may say that it's because we're in a higher than normal interest rate environment. Others may point to the election. But remember that price points also may help make a major difference there as well. So today, as I mentioned, we're diving into one of the most critical mistakes that home buyers make today, and that is counting themselves out before even getting started. And I have to say that this one, it's a little heartbreaking, okay? Because it stops people from even trying to achieve their dreams of home ownership, trying to achieve whatever that next step as far as a home is for you. There's loss of hope. So let's break down some common misconceptions and shed light on the reality of home buying qualifications today, right? First off, let's talk about what most people don't want to talk about, credit score, right? Many people believe that they need an absolutely pristine, perfect credit score to buy real estate. And I've had clients in the past tell me, listen, Natasha, my credit isn't perfect, and there's no way in hell that I can qualify for a mortgage. All right. But here's the truth. While higher scores can certainly get you a better interest rate, you can often qualify for a home loan with a score as low as 620, 580 in some cases, and even 500, depending on certain circumstances. There are programs available. So let's address the debt myth. I often hear potential home buyers, worry about their medical debt, high car payments, student loans, and other debt. They assume that any debt automatically disqualifies them. In reality, it's more about your debt to income ratio than the absolute amount of debt that you owe. Lenders typically look at a certain ratio, around 43% or less, but there are programs that allow for higher ratios. So don't let your debt, your student loan, your medical debt, credit card debt, don't let that stop you from exploring your options, from knowing where you stand today and knowing what steps you can take to achieve your dreams in the future, in the near future. The third big misconception is about income. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, listen, I just don't make enough to buy a house. But here's the thing, there's no set income for buying a home. It is about how your income relates to the home price and how it relates to other debts that you carry. Plus, there are programs designed especially for low to moderate home buyers, and it may surprise you at what you can afford in today's market. So, what's the reality for home buying qualifications? The truth is, they're much more flexible than most people think. You have that idea that, I've got to put 20% down. That myth is still out there, and it hasn't been the case. And I mean, at least the last 30 years, but that myth certainly exists. So again, lenders are looking at your overall picture. They're looking at your credit, your debt, your income, any assets that you have, and your employment history. It is a holistic view, not just one magic number that determines everything. So let's give you a few examples. All right. I worked with a young couple, and they thought that they couldn't buy anything because of their student loan debt. They almost gave up before they even started. But when we sat down and looked at their entire financial picture, we found that they actually qualified for a first-time home buyer program. They're now happily settled in their new home, building equity instead of paying rent, paying someone else's mortgage. And this brings me to my next point, the importance of getting accurate, up-to-date, current information. The home buying landscape, it is always changing, with new programs and options becoming available all the time. What was true 5 years ago or even last year may not be the case today. So again, let's move on to mistake number 2, and that is not taking advantage of these programs. All right, folks, listen, Arizona has several fantastic programs designed to help you get into home ownership, and missing out of these programs can cost you thousands of dollars. There are down payment assistance programs that are specific to an area, specific to certain locations. They're dependent on income, and they may require you to stay in the home for a few years. Some are even 100%. All right, I've harped on that enough. Let's hop on over to mistake number 3. And I don't want you to confuse what I'm saying here. All right. I have here, beware of the builder's marketing machine. That is mistake number 3, getting sucked into the builder's marketing machine. And this is a big one, especially here in the greater Phoenix area where new construction is booming. It's competing with resale. There are certainly options available for people. And some cases, there are phenomenal options. But we need to talk about the tactics builders use to get you in the door. So don't get me wrong. Like I said, builders create beautiful homes, and it is critical to understand the marketing strategies so that you can make an informed decision. You have the model home trap. All right. Builders, they showcase their model homes with all the bells and whistles, upgrades, upgraded finishes, premium appliances, professional staging, and it's designed to make you absolutely positively fall in love. But remember, what you see isn't always what you get at the base price. Another tactic is the urgency play. You might hear things like, listen, this is the last lot in this community, or prices are going up next week, so you better buy now. And listen, all of that may be true, but this is often a sales tactic to push you into making a quick decision. Builders, they often have preferred lenders, and they may offer incentives for you to use that lender, like credits towards a closing cost or credits towards upgrades, or credits towards landscaping, and these may be absolutely great, but it is important to shop around and ensure that you are getting the best overall deal and that what they're offering fits your budget and your lifestyle. Lastly, we have the upgrade upsell. Once you're emotionally invested in a home, it's easy to justify upgrades that can quickly blow your budget. All right, enough about those builders, because as I mentioned before, they do have some phenomenal programs available, but it is important to know what you're walking into and what you're paying for. All right, mistake number 4. Mistake number 4 is skipping or waiving the home inspection period. Skipping the home inspection is like buying a car without looking under the hood, without getting the Carfax. It might look great on the outside, but you can be in for some expensive surprises down the road. So let me explain why a home inspection is so vital to the home buying process. First and foremost, a home inspection gives you an unbiased professional assessment, a professional overview of a property's condition. It's your chance to really understand what you're buying beyond what just meets the human eye. All right. It is crucial whether you're looking at a brand new build or a charming 1920s bungalow. Secondly, the home inspection, it gives you leverage, right? If significant issues are uncovered, you have the opportunity to negotiate repairs, price reductions, and maybe if the repair that's needed really would blow your budget, walk away if it's a deal breaker. All right. Now, without that inspection, you're essentially agreeing to buy the home as is, warts and all. Now, this isn't to say that the current property owner, the home seller, is trying to hide anything. That's another thing. Okay. It's not necessarily that they're trying to hide it. They may not know. A lot of people aren't aware that that there's an issue with the AC unit, for instance, unless it just isn't working. Then they look into it. They're not aware that there may be something that needs to be fixed unless it truly is causing it not to function. Right? So keep that in mind. Secondly, the inspection, and lastly, the good inspection, it can really save you money in the long run. It can identify potential issues before they become major problems, allowing you to budget for future repairs or maintenance. So let's talk about what a standard inspection covers in Arizona, right? Because we are talking about the Arizona home buying process, right? The inspection talks about structural elements, foundations, walls, ceilings, the roof, the exterior evaluation, the grading, the garages, and the other covered parking. Any drainage is all examined. You look at the roof, the attic space, look for leaks, proper insulation and ventilation. You look at the plumbing systems, pipes, drains, water heating, and the pressure. They look at the electrical systems and check all the wiring, service panels, breakers, and fuses. They look at the HVAC, the heating and cooling system, and the ductwork as well. They look at the interior walls, windows, doors, and stairs, the ventilation. The bathroom and kitchen vents are all properly reviewed. A fireplace, if there is one, appliances, if they are present. Now remember, while comprehensive, a standard home inspection, it doesn't cover absolutely everything. Depending on the property, you may want to consider additional specialized inspections, like testing for mold, testing the chimney if there's a fireplace, testing the pool and spa, testing for pests, termites, and other wood-destroying organisms, testing for radon. Let me share a quick story with you, okay? All right. So it's about a home inspection, and it's about how it saved my client thousands. So that's one story. All right. So working with this couple, it's their first home. Again, they're looking at a 1960s ranch home. The home looked absolutely great from the outside. You know, it was remodeled, but our inspector discovered significant issues with the electrical system. It wasn't up to code, and it posed a serious safety risk. And armed with this information, we were able to negotiate a $10,000 reduction in price to cover the cost of the electrical system. Now, without that inspection, my clients would have been on the hook for those repairs themselves. Here's another story. All right. This house, again, it was an older home and it was in my client's price point, and they were very excited, first time home buyer. But the fact is, we walked in this home and it was, you could just see that there were insurmountable issues that were way outside of my client's budget. All right. The roof was needed. There was a certain odor, in the home. The flooring wasn't level. Looking at the electrical box, the AC unit was missing. All of these things, and it was just more than my client had bargained for. And so they decided to walk away from that particular transaction. And it was the right decision for them at that time. I'm sure an investor, someone was able to capitalize on that. But for this person and this person's budget, it just wasn't a good fit. And we went on to find them something else. Now, home inspections, they can also help you with future expenses. Maybe the roof is good today, but it is nearing the end of its life, or the water heater is showing signs of age. This information, it allows you to budget accordingly and avoid surprise expenses down the road. Excuse me. All right. And now, don't forget about the peace of mind factor, right? Knowing that your potential new home has been thoroughly examined by a professional can help you feel confident in your purchase decision. So let's talk about our next mistake. That is also part of the inspection period, because your inspection isn't just looking at the physical property, it is also researching the neighborhood thoroughly. Remember, again, when you buy a home, you're not just buying the structure, you're buying into the community. And the neighborhood can have a huge impact on the quality of life and your home's future value. So, why is the neighborhood research so important? First, it ensures that the area aligns with your lifestyle and needs. A neighborhood that's perfect for a young professional might not be ideal for a family with school-aged children. Secondly, understanding the neighborhood helps you gauge the potential for appreciation. Is that area up and coming? Are there plans for new amenities or developments that could increase the property's value? Thorough research can uncover issues that may not be apparent during a brief first visit. Maybe the quiet streets become a major thoroughfare during rush hour, or perhaps there's a history of flooding in that area. So you're saying, okay, great. Well, I'm looking at the neighborhood. Like, what do you mean by look at the neighborhood? What should I be researching? Right now, talk to the neighbors if they'll talk to you. Okay. Most neighbors are curious about who's moving into their neighborhood. So that's important to do. Here are some other key factors to consider. Consider the schools, all right? Even if you don't have children or you don't intend to have children, school quality can significantly impact property value. Look at the crime rates, the current crime statistics of that area, and the trends over time. And always check the crime in your current area against the crime of the area that you're considering, because crime is everywhere. All right. Future development of that area. Are there new shopping centers, parks, and other amenities that are planned for that area? Are there less desirable components? What about transportation? What about commute times if you're not working from home? Public transit options and the walkability of the neighborhood. Things are cooling off here. Maybe you like to walk to get your coffee in the morning, your coffee and bagel, or maybe you want to go meet folks at the bar down the road. You're happy to take your bike to do so, but you don't want to bike 5 miles for a cold beer. You're going to need one there and one back. Right. Consider other amenities, right? Look at the proximity to shopping, restaurants, parks, and other facilities that matter to you. What about the property value? research not only what that property is worth today, but what are the trends in that neighborhood? What are the future projections? All right. The natural hazards. Is the area prone to wildfires, to flooding, and other natural disasters? What about the HOA, the Homeowners Association, and their documents? We'll talk about that a little bit later. Think about the noise level. Maybe you're perfectly fine with the folks that are having a jam session next door, but maybe you work nights and that's just not going to work for you. The community vibe. Does the neighborhood feel like a place where you would fit in and be comfortable? So where can you find all this valuable information? You can take a look at government websites. Also, check school district websites for more information on local schools. Take a look at crime mapping websites like crimereport.com. Take a look at the walk score to see the bike friendliness of an area, the walkability of an area, if that's important to you. Consider local news sources for understanding of current events and future plans in that area. Social media can also be a great help to you. Nextdoor and other Facebook groups. FEMA flood maps are essential for understanding the flood risks in an area. And your realtor, your real estate professional, has access to a wealth of data and local knowledge that can be invaluable to your research. All right, let's dive into mistake number 5. Mistake number 5 is the document review period, skipping that HOA document review period. Now, you may receive those documents during the inspection period and you may not, but you still have time to review those documents in a typical real estate contract, unless you've altered it in some way in negotiations. Okay. Now, remember, this is a crucial step that many home buyers overlook. You're receiving all these documents coming to your email. You click here, you click there, you're like, just give me the keys. Well, there's a few things we need to get to first, okay? So let's talk about what HOA stands for. HOA is your Homeowners Association. It is an organization in many communities that makes and enforces rules for properties and residents. And here in Arizona, HOAs are incredibly common, especially in newer developments. So now, why is reviewing the HOA documents so crucial? Well, again, like we said earlier, when you're buying a property, you're not just buying that property, okay? You're buying into a community. You're possibly buying into a homeowners association, all right? And you're entering into agreement with that association. And that agreement, it can affect everything from what color you paint your house to whether you can park cars on the street, whether you can park an RV on your property, whether you can have pets, the number of pets, the type of pets that you can have, and all other sorts of restrictions, whether you can rent in that property and how often you can rent out the property, daily, monthly, 6-month period, 12-month periods. Skipping the HOA document review is like signing a contract without reading it. You may be agreeing to rules and financial obligations that you're not aware of, and that could significantly impact your lifestyle and your budget. So let's break down what those HOA documents typically include, right? They include the CC&R's covenants, conditions, and restrictions. And this is, the main governing document. It outlines the rules of a community. It covers things like the architectural controls, pet policies, and the use of common areas. There's bylaws, right? And these describe how the HOA operates, including how board members are elected and how often meetings are held, right? The articles of incorporation is a legal document that establishes the HOA as a corporate entity. The rules and regulations of that community. So that's more detailed information on the day-to-day rules that complement those covenants, conditions, and restrictions. There are financial documents in there that if you're getting a loan, your lender will be interested in to know what the current budget is for that HOA, what the reserves are, and if there are any planned special assessments. The meeting minutes from the most recent meetings. There may be a newsletter or community updates. And it is important, again, to review these documents and to ask questions. When reviewing these documents, here are some key areas to focus on. Focus on the financial health of that community. Look at their budget and look at the reserve fund. And again, if you're getting a loan, your lender would be particularly interested in that. Look at the fee structure. Understand what the current homeowners association fees are, what they cover, and how often they have increased in the past. Are there any special assessments planned, or have there been any recently? What are the rules and regulations of that community? Pay close attention to how those rules affect your lifestyle. Like I said, do they allow rentals? Are there pet restrictions? How about home businesses? What are the architectural controls? Understand what changes you can make to a property and what requires homeowner association approval. What about the insurance? How does the HOA's master policy, what does it cover? And what are you responsible for insuring? What is the HOA responsible for insuring? What about litigation? Are there any current or ongoing legal disputes in that community? And violations and fines. Understanding the process of rule violations and associated fines. Take the time to review the HOA documents thoroughly. It can benefit you in several ways. You can avoid surprises. You know exactly what you're getting into before you buy. You can budget accordingly. Understanding all the potential costs help you determine if the property truly fits your budget. You can see if it's a lifestyle fit. You can ensure the community rules align with your lifestyle and plans for the future. You can have some peace of mind knowing that you've done your due diligence and, become more confident in your purchase decision. You can make future planning and allow understanding any planned improvements in the area, and changes can help you anticipate how this community can evolve. Now, woo, we went over a lot today, and I just wanted to give you a quick recap, all right, of what we went over. We went over 5 critical mistakes that many home buyers make out here in Arizona. Number 1, counting yourself out before even getting started. Number 2, getting sucked into the new home builders marketing machine. Number 3, skipping or waiving the home inspection period. Number 4, skipping that. I feel like I skipped something myself here. Okay, anyway, skipping that HOA document review. All right. These mistakes, they can cost you time, money, and a whole lot of stress. But armed with the knowledge that we reviewed here today, you could be ahead of the game. So again, let's say we have a few takeaways from tonight's presentation. Yes. Oh, no. All right, just a few takeaways. All right, don't assume that you can't buy a home. Okay, get the facts first. All right, explore all available programs and resources available for home buyers today. Approach new construction with your eyes wide open and a critical mindset. Always get a professional home inspection. Thoroughly review the homeowners association documents before fully committing to the purchase. Now, sometimes you can get those documents before even submitting an offer in a community. But again, a typical standard Arizona real estate purchase contract does allow for the document review, the HOA document review. All right. And remember that buying a home, it is a journey. okay? And it's okay to take it one step at a time. The goal isn't just to buy a house, it's to find the right home for you at the right price in the right location. All right. So you say, all right, I gotcha. What's next? All right. What do you want from me? Well, I really just wanted you to listen, okay, and possibly share this information with someone else who you think may be thinking about purchasing real estate. And if you'd like, you're more than welcome to contact me and set up a free consultation. All right, we'll discuss your specific situation and create a personalized home buying strategy. You start researching home buying programs, down payment assistance programs that are not always just for first time home buyers. Okay, what's available here in Arizona? And I can provide you a list of resources to get you started. So, again, feel free to share this information with friends or family who may be considering purchasing their first home or purchasing real estate in the near future. Knowledge is power. And the more informed buyers we have, the healthier our real estate market will be overall. Folks, I wanted to say thank you for chiming in tonight to listen to me go on and on about these critical mistakes, but I do think that it is important to review. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'm more than happy to answer them. We have across a few platforms here. And just know that there are, again, a number of programs available. There's a lot of information out there right now. There are, again, there's loan programs available. There's down payment assistance programs available if you choose to take advantage of that. Depending on your profession or whether you're a veteran or not, you may have access to 100% down. There's programs for teachers, people in the in education, people in healthcare, first responders. There's so much available to you, and right now there are homes for you to look at without the need of waiving inspection periods, waiving appraisals, or anything along those lines that we saw when the in the around 2020, 2021, right? And people just wanted to get into a home. And we saw a lot of those things be waived. You have an opportunity now to think about it for a little bit and think about what you're getting into. Ask questions that arise. As they say, the only stupid question is the question not asked, right? I'm curious also, like, what are you guys hearing right now about Arizona real estate? Right? Good, bad, or ugly, right? What are you guys hearing right now these days? Okay, we have a question. I am all right. All right. You served in the Army. Thank you. Thank you for your service there. And you want to know if there's something that could be help for you. Well, there certainly could be. As I said, you could be eligible for a VA loan. A VA loan is 100% financing, right? So that means you don't have to have any down payment. Your time served in the military is your down payment, all right? So a lender would still want to run your credits. They'll still want to look at your income and your debts, but it's important to get an idea of where you stand today, and we can certainly chat offline a little bit about your situation. But I thank you for coming forward. But yeah, it is definitely possible for you to do a VA loan. You know, they'll take a look at how long you served, and determine what you're eligible for. Great. Well, folks, like I said, I'm flying solo tonight, so I thank you for your patience. And If you don't feel comfortable dropping questions, that's okay. Like I said, you can always reach me directly. You can feel free to call or text that number, email me and request an appointment. There's no obligation for us to have a conversation, okay? No obligation whatsoever. The call is free. All right. Oh, okay. I see here I'm self-employed and my taxes show that I haven't made much money, so I can't qualify for anything. Okay. This is a common issue with a lot of self-employed individuals where, I mean, we're self-employed, right? And you're self-employed, you have a 1099. So you have a number of deductions that you take on your taxes. And so that number is very low, and it's hard to say that you qualify for, you know, 400,000 or 500,000 house with the income that you're showing on your taxes. But again, just because you went to one lender and they said that you wouldn't qualify, you qualified for very little. Different lenders offer different programs. I'm not sure if you went to a bank or if you spoke to a mortgage broker, but I would encourage you to also reach out so we can chat about what options may be available to you. All right, because I'm pretty sure that there are some. And even if there's the route of seller financing, and we can talk about that as well, where a property owner may act as a bank for a period of time, and then you refinance into a longer loan option. So there's different ways to get things done. So again, I encourage you to reach out so we can chat more. So we have us. We're on Instagram, on Facebook, we're on YouTube at the same time. Let's see any other questions this evening. And folks, most importantly, I say don't count yourself out. Don't count yourself out. If you don't speak to me, speak to someone. Speak to another real estate professional. Speak to a lending professional. I'm more than happy to recommend one for you to understand where you are today and whether you're able to buy today or how close you are to that goal. All right, because it is achievable. Again, you can find me at my website. You can email me or call or text me at 480-203-4364. Ladies and gents, I promise that we would keep it tight because I know your time is valuable. We're all involved and we all have life going on behind the scenes. And I thank you again for chiming in tonight. And I wish you well. I wish you a good evening. And with questions or concerns about the Arizona real estate market, you can always contact me directly. All right. Be well, stay safe, go buy something. Ta-ta.